Dear students, good morning to one and all. Now I will go to teach about the lesson of 10th standard economics lesson 4 government and taxes. Okay, already just you have crossed the 3 lessons from the economics. Now the important lesson is government and taxes. You have heard the word of government as well as the taxes. That's very well. Government already just you have learnt briefly from the civics. Isn't it okay? What is meant by government? What are the types of the government? Right? What are the functions of the government? Who has lead the government? What is the role of the government? Everything. Taxes is the new one, not new one. Already often and often just you have heard the word of taxes. What is meant by tax? What are the types of the tax? What are the benefits of paying for the tax? What will happen if you are not pay the tax to the government? Okay. After collecting the tax revenue from you by the government, how the money will be spent for them. Okay. This is called as lesson government and taxes. Right? Come on. Let us go to discuss one by one. Okay, students. You know very well about the government. Already you have studied from the civics also. And the next heading goes to taxes. Tax is the main heading of this lesson. Without the help of the collection of tax, no government should function properly. That's very well. If we pay the tax properly, then it is able to run the government in efficient or effective manner further. Okay. Come to the lesson. What are the learning objectives for this lesson? Okay. Learning objectives of the government and taxes. First topic is learning and objectives. So first one is to understand the government and the development policies. Okay. To understand the role of the government and development policies of any country. Next one is to gain the knowledge about the tax and its types. What is meant by tax and what are the types of the tax further. Okay. And third one is to study how the tax is created. I mean how the tax is levied or how the tax is created for that. And fourth one is to gain the insight into black money. Okay. But do you know very well about the black money? If anybody is not paying the proper tax to the government and they keep or hide the money, that is called as black money. Okay. And the tax evasion. Okay. That's a fourth learning object for that. To know the difference between the tax. Okay. To know the difference between the tax and other payments for that. And finally, to understand the taxes and its development for that. Right? These are the learning objectives we will go to learn this topic. And first one goes to the introduction of the tax. What is meant by tax? Actually, tax is created by the government for the development of the state's economy. That's very well. A country's economy is developed with the help of the tax creation of the tax for that. The revenue of the government depends upon direct and indirect taxes. You know very well. There are 2 types of taxes are there. One is direct tax, another one is indirect tax for that. With the help of the collection of the money from the direct and indirect taxes, a government will run further. Okay. And then direct taxes are created on income of the person and income of the person, right? And the indirect taxes are created on goods and services. Actually, just very well, goods and services. Goods means primary sector as well as secondary sector, and services is the tertiary sector. So the amount of the tax which is collected from the primary, secondary and tertiary sector is called as what is that? That is called as indirect taxes. Okay. By which government mobilizes, that is collected its financial resources of the country. Okay. Role of the government in development policies. The next heading goes to role of the government in policies. In what way the government spent the money in any country or in any state further. See here, after collection of the money, just very well, the country will go to spend the amount to defense, foreign policy. First one is defense, next one is foreign policy, conduct of periodic elections, law and order, public administration, as well as provision of public goods, and then redistribution of income and poverty alleviation, regulate the economy. Okay, these are the concepts further. Very well, defense, that is the major area of any country further. Okay, without the defense we can't go to we cannot avoid the source of any country further. So this is the essential security, isn't it? Okay, this is the essential means must security function to protect our nation from our enemies further. Actually, internal disorder and external aggression. Okay, there are 2 concepts for the defense further. So it is must to maintain the which one? Defense. So if we want to maintain the defense, definitely we must spend more money for that. So in the way, just we have after collecting the tax, then we will go to spend the money to the defense area for that. The central government, that is called as union government, is responsible for creating and maintaining defense forces. That's the first one. Second one is foreign policy. That's know very well. Foreign policy is nothing but in Tamil we can say Veliru Kolgai. Isn't it okay? Civics just you studied a lot for that. How far just we are going to maintaining the external relations with our country to another country for that. Isn't it okay? Today's world, we need to maintain friendly relationship. We need to maintain the friendly relationship with all the other countries in the world for that. Isn't it okay? That is, it is very, very important. Without maintaining the proper relationship between that our country with other country, it's not possible to run the government smoothly. So it is foreign policy is very, very important for that. So this service is also provided by the central government also. Third one is conduct of periodic elections. Just you know very well, there are three types, actually basically two types of elections are there. One is direct election, another one is indirect election. In the direct election, just you know very well, state-wise MLA election is going on there, and then MP, country-wise MP election is going on there, and then local body election is going on there. Each and every 5 years once, our country should go to conduct the elections for that. So we must spend more money for that. Isn't it okay? That is called as conduct of periodic elections. Then only just we have to select the proper responsible government in any state or any country for that. Okay, and to maintain law and order, this is very, very important for that. Both the central and the state government, okay, both the central and the state government enact, I mean the create, okay, numerous laws, I mean several kinds of laws to protect our rights, maybe the fundamental rights or the fundamental duties or the fundamental rights and properties, and to regulate our economy and society. Isn't it okay? To your rights and your economy and our society, definitely just we want to maintain them. So for this way, definitely just we need the what is central government has a vibrant political system, I mean the moving political system. Okay, same thing, the state government also take the responsibility for what is it, administrating the police forces to represent in the respective areas for that, right? So the maintaining of law and order is very, very essential or very, very important for that. And the fifth topic that goes to public administration and then the provision of the what is it, public goods. Public administration, the name itself, the meaning is there. How far we are going to administrating the public, I mean the people, isn't it okay? So the government generally administer the economy of and society through the what is it, various department, revenue department is there, okay, and then schools is there, hospitals are there, and then rural development, and what is that, various several departments are there. Okay, so the local government provide public goods in the local roads also, local peoples also, as well as local government provide the public goods like local roads, drainage, drinking water, and water collection, and what is the disposal. Isn't it okay? So in this way, just with the government, we shall go to provide the all the needs of the people with the help of the local government. That's the fifth topic. And the sixth topic goes to redistribution of income and then poverty alleviation. Redistribution of income. Actually, the responsible for the government is nothing but they will go to share the income equally for all the people. Isn't it okay? And then poverty alleviation is nothing but reducing of the poverty. Alleviation means reducing. Isn't it okay? So the poverty alleviation, the government collect various taxes, okay, to finance to various activities mentioned earlier. That's I already told you, direct taxes are there and then indirect taxes are there. So the taxes are collected in a way that the high income people can bring to more tax revenue to the what is that government than the poor. Actually, just you know very well, if the rich people they pay more taxes, then only it is possible to supply the more income to the what is that, the poverty people, I mean the people those who are affected by the poor. So rich people must pay the taxes for that. Isn't it okay? So the government also spend money such that poor are give some basic necessities of the basic necessities, just you know very well. Basic amenities or the basic necessities is nothing but compulsorily food is essential. Isn't it okay? Shelter is essential and clothing is essential for that. So in this way, the government should provide that food, shelter, clothing, education, and what is that, health care, medical facility, all right, and monthly income to various very poor persons for that. Thus, collecting taxes and spending for the poor to what is that, reduce the poverty. In this way, the government has taken for that. Last one is regulate the economy. Regulate means what is that? Routine actually. Okay, continuously, I mean sustainability. Okay, sustainability is nothing but regulation of the income for that. See, the central government through Reserve Bank of India, you know very well, Reserve Bank is the head of all the central government banks as well as the state government banks as well as the cooperative banks. That is the head for that. Headquarters is Mumbai, just you know very well. Each and every state is also available for that. That should goes to control all the banks of India, right? With the help of the Reserve Bank of India, controls money supply and controls the interest rate as well as the inflation and foreign exchange rate. Inflation, just you know very well. the value of money has to be increased very little bit, okay, or more. That is called as inflation. So the inflation and deflation must be, what is that, must be maintained properly. So the central government also controls the economy through the various agencies such as Securities Exchange Board of India, that is called as SEBI, Securities Exchange Board of India, and what is that, competitions, right, and Commission of India, as Competition Commission of India, CCI, that is the separate board also there. So all the government in India run public sector companies to provide important goods and services, what is it, in the affordable rates. Affordable means what is it, acceptable rates or the buying rate for that to the people. Okay, now just we are going to enter in the main heading, tax. What is meant by tax, right? The origin of the word tax is called as taxation. Tax means what is it, taxation, which what is that, which means what is that, estimate of the revenue. Okay, taxation is means by which government finance that expenditure by what is it, importing changes in citizens, changes on citizens, right, and corporate what is it, entities, right. In simple way, based on your income of a single person, or based on the income of the property, or based on the value of the property, or based on the income coming for the corporate companies, then the government should goes to collect the amount from depending on the income that is which is earned for the people. That is called as tax. Okay, so the tax has this is called as, actually with the help of the tax only we will go to create the what is that, welfare state further. So taxes are the compulsory payments. You keep in mind for that, taxes are the compulsory payment to the government, right, without expectation of the direct return or benefit in the taxpayer. Okay, this is the main word for that. You must pay the tax to the government, but you don't expect for anything from, sir, I am going to pay the tax for that. You may give some relaxations. No, that's not possible. Because what is that? See, we are living, we are traveling, we are using water, we are using current, we are driving in the road for that. So what is that? In this way, the government has spent the various fields for that. Isn't it okay? So we don't go to expect that. That is our duty of any citizen or any people to pay the tax properly to the government of India. Isn't it okay? So we may not go to escape further. Then only the government may provide the necessary services to the people of them. Okay. So why taxes? Tax, you know very well, compulsory payment to the people, to the compulsory payment of the people depending on the revenue to the government. What is the reason? I mean, why taxes for that? Right now, why we want to pay the taxes for that? That already just we are seeing that the role of the government in policies. If you want to maintain the defense, foreign policy, conduct of periodic elections, law and order, public administration and the provision of public goods, redistribution of income and poverty alleviation, and regulate the economy, that we must pay the what is the taxes. Just if you want to run the country in effective and efficient manner with the help of our economy, we must pay the what is the taxes for that. Okay, this is one. So the states and their functional equivalent throughout the history have used money provided for that by taxation to carry out, okay, many functions for that. Some of the input expenses on the economic infrastructure, just you know very well, transport, isn't it okay? Transport, sanitation, public safety, education, healthcare systems, right, for the military and scientific research and culture, okay, and thus etc. So public works and public insurance and the other operation of government itself for that. So a government ability to raise the taxes is called a fiscal capacity. I mean the money capacity, which is called as fiscal capacity. So when expenditure exceed tax revenue, the tax revenue, a government can't accumulate a debt. Debt means you know very well, kadan. Isn't it okay? So within the tax revenue, the government should goes to function for that. Right? If the government may borrow money more than the tax revenue, what is that? It's not possible to conduct the government properly. Right? It is very, very important for that. So a portion of taxes may be used to service the past debits for that. Right? Previously, isn't it okay? So for that purpose, the government spend the money for that. Isn't it okay? So government also used taxes to fund welfare and public services also. Public services is nothing but maybe the government project of construction of roads and 4-lane, 8-lane and bridges, hydel power projects for that, so on so forth. Okay. So there the services can include the education systems also for that, and then pensions for the elderly people. Most of the government servants are the government people, government teachers, they got the pension, you know very well, isn't it okay? For that purpose is also used for that money, I mean the tax money. And then unemployment benefits and the public transportation. Transportation, just you know very well. You see nowadays the government school children are using the bus freely, isn't it okay? we are paying money, but those children, they may not give the money for that. So these are the services that is requested by the government to the people for offering the services to the people like as poor. So energy, water and waste management systems are the what is it common public services we can say for that. Next one is types of taxes. So there are three types of taxes. I mean the two types of taxes are there. One is called as direct tax, another one is called as indirect tax. Okay, I already told you. நேரடி வரி அல்லது மறைமுக வரி. Okay, what is meant by direct tax and what is meant by indirect tax? What are the types available in the direct tax? What are the types available in the indirect tax? Okay, direct tax means very simple, very simple. That is a tax created on an individual or organization. A person or a company which is paid directly is called as direct tax. Okay, suppose if I am going to paying the tax to the government of India or government of Tamil Nadu, whatever it may be for that is I am paying for the what is a direct tax. I am not going to paying for the what is an indirect tax. Depending on my income or depending on my salary, I will go to pay the what is a tax every year. That is called as what is a direct tax. Okay, so maybe the company also, if the companies they will go to pay the tax every year, that is called as direct tax. The burden of the direct tax cannot be shifted to others. Right, burden of the direct tax cannot be shifted to others. Right, okay, that means what is that if I am going to pay the tax means I will not go to take all the burdens of anything else, isn't it? Okay, so I will not go to bear for that. Right, and this is one J.S. Mill, the famous economist in the world. He defines a direct tax is one which is demanded from very persons who is intended or desired should pay it. Compulsorily we must pay it. Some direct taxes are income tax, wealth tax, okay, and corporation tax. You know very well. The example is income tax. That's very easy. Income tax. Next one is for what is that? First one is income tax. What is the types for the income tax? Income tax is now only I told you. Depending on the person's income, then we must pay the what is the tax to the government. Isn't it okay? So income tax is the most common and what is that? Important tax created on an individual. Okay, we must pay the tax for that. It is changed directly based on the income of the person. Every year it may be changed for that. The rate at which it changes depending on the what is that level of the income. So suppose if I am getting the annual income maybe 2 lakh or 3 lakh or more than 2 lakh or more than 3 lakh, I must pay the tax for that. The next year maybe it may be exceed more than 5 lakhs or 6 lakhs. So every year depending on the income increasing, what is that? I must pay the tax for that is called as income tax. So the direct taxes are, first one is income tax, next one is what is that? Corporate tax, and next one is wealth tax. Okay, so income tax is simply depending on the person's income, they will go to pay the tax for that. Corporate is nothing but companies, right? Company, the tax is levied on the companies. Tax is created on what is that? Companies that compulsorily that exist. Okay, as a separate entities from their what is that? Shareholders from the company. I mean the shareholders. So it is changed. What is that? Royalties, interest gains from the sale of capital and assets located in India, and what is that? For the technical services and dividends also. So based on their dividend, based on their sale, based on their profit, based on their capital, we must pay the what is the tax to them. Foreign companies are taxed as income that it is arises in India also. That's you know very well. Actually, there was some differences between the Indian companies and foreign companies for that. See, for our companies, only for if suppose the income may be per year income may be. See here, I have given the one more example also. See here, corporate companies less than 50 crore, less than 50 crore. That is for the Indian companies. Less than 50 crore, Indian companies only for 25% is possible for that. But if it is foreign companies, they must pay 40% of the companies, 40% of the income revenue. And then same thing, if that is more than 50 crore is the income of any company, then the Indian companies must pay 30% of the tax. Same as the foreign companies, they must pay the what is that? 40% of the tax for that. Okay, and that is called as which one? Corporate tax. And next one is for the wealth tax, which is nothing but the property tax. Suppose if you are having the land, house or building or apartment, you must pay the tax every year. That is called as what is that? That is called as wealth tax. Okay, that means also property tax also. Wealth tax is charged on the benefits derived from property ownership. Okay, if I have the building, I have the apartment, or I have own what is it? Something else, land, something else. The same property will be taxed every year on its what is it? Current market value. Every year may be changes for that. You don't think that last year just you pay some rupees, the same amount must be paid for this year also. No. Every year, depending on the market value, the government will go to fixes for the taxes. That is called as wealth tax or the property tax. Okay, and next one is indirect tax. Direct tax is over. Okay, direct tax means income tax, corporate tax, wealth tax, that is over. And next one go for the indirect tax, Marai Mugavari. This is narrative vary. This is called as, what is it? In Tamil it is called as Marai Mugavari. So it means stamp duty and entertainment taxes, excess duty and GST. GST means that is goods and services tax. Okay, goods and services tax. First one is stamp duty. Stamp duty is nothing but a tax paid on official documents like marriage registration or documents related to your property, and in some contractual agreements for that. That is called as stamp duty. While we are going to buying or selling any property, at that time just we bought the stamp duty, that is called as entertainment tax. That you know very well. Simply suppose if you are going for anywhere, amusement parks, theaters, multiplex theaters, okay, or amusement parks, you have seen that in the bill they paid the tax for that. We must pay the tax. Okay, that is called as entertainment tax. This is nothing but, okay. On excess duty, this is nothing but excess duty is any duty on manufactured goods created at the moment of manufacture rather than at sale. Right? Before it comes for the sale, the government has created the excess duty. Excess is typically imposed, that means created in addition to an indirect tax such as sales tax also. And finally, that goes for the GST. Now, the very famous word is nothing but GST, which is called as goods and services tax. See, all the taxes of India that should be merged to one, and which is called as goods and services tax. Isn't it okay? Goods and services. That I already told you. Goods, primary and secondary. Services, that is called as tertiary. So both the primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector, which is merged together, which is called as goods and services tax, is one of the indirect tax for that. The GST was passed by the Parliament on 29th March 2017. Actually, it came into force on 1st July 2017. Now you see, wherever you are going for that, GST is the word. There is two GST. I mean the state government which will go to create the GST, as well as the central government also goes to create the GST for that. But it is nowadays it is only one tax, one nation, one tax. That is the motto of the GST, right? And then this is one topic. And then next one is how are the taxes levied? How are the taxes levied means what is it? Created. How the taxes are created? That is very, very important. Isn't it okay? That is, there are three modes are there. One is progressive tax, another one is proportional tax, another one is regressive tax. Okay, there are three ways are there. Progressive tax. What is the meaning of progressive tax? If the income is increases in the progressive tax, the tax rate is also increases. Right? That is called as. Right? In the case of progressive, when the income increases, then the tax is also increases. See here, I have given the one table here. I mean the tax base as well as the tax rate, and then what is the amount, the tax amount. If the tax base, suppose if your income for 10,000, then the tax rate is 10%, then the amount is 1,000 rupees. Or your tax base is 20,000, then your tax is 15%, then the amount is 3,000 rupees for that. Tax base is 30,000, then the tax rate is 25%, and the amount is 7,500 rupees per that. This is called as progressive, progress. Isn't it okay? Whenever the income is increased, automatically the tax rate is also increased for that. Next one is proportional tax. Same thing, but there is only one difference between this and this. I mean the progressive as well as the proportional. See here, if the income has increased, but the tax rate is same for them. See here, 10,000, same 10%. 20,000, same 10%. And then 30,000, same 10%. Why? What is the reason for that? Because of this is called as income tax. This is an example of income tax. This is called as corporate tax. See, we must give some of the benefits to the company for that. See, if you every year if you are going to increasing the same kind of progressive tax, then the company will not go to run in India. No company should start in India. Isn't it okay? So the companies are not available. How can we provide the employment for the people? Right? Based on the company, the environment, or the surroundings, employment, healthcare, education, market or the trade, everything has to be increased for that. Isn't it okay? So if the government will give the proper or affordable tax rate to the companies, then only the companies are working in India. That's why nowadays most of the foreign companies, they are coming from their own country to our own country. See, you take the example of Chennai. In the surroundings of Chennai, Nokia is there, Ford is there, Foxconn is there, Samsung is there, LG is there, the China-based company of Saint-Gobain is there. What is the reason for that? Hyundai, that is the biggest company in South Korea, that is available for that. What is the reason? Because of the less tax rate. That is called as proportional tax. Okay. And the last one is regressive tax. This regressive means what is that? Opposite to the which one? Progressive. That means what is that? there is less income, there is more amount, more tax. And then if it is high income, that is called as what is that? Less tax. Isn't it okay? That is called as. So it implies that higher the rate of tax, lower the income groups. Okay, lower the income groups. That in the case of higher income groups, then they will go to collect the what is it only for the less tax for that. That's why I told you that is the opposite of the what is it progressive tax. Okay, right? And next heading goes to black money. That's you know very well. What is the meaning of black money? Black money. The money will be black? No. What is it? See, after getting your salary or after collection of your income, total income, you must show the real or the transparent accounts to the government of India. Okay, but what we are doing, some of the people or some of them, they hide their income. Okay, for example, if I got my year income is maybe 10 lakhs. For example, I am saying about that. My annual income is 10 lakhs. But I will go to produce the accounts to the government of India while I am paying the tax only for 5 lakhs only for that. What about the remaining 5 lakhs? I will give the accounts only for 5 lakhs only for that. Remaining 5 lakhs, what is it? That was hidden by me. That the hidden amount is called as what is it? Black money. Right? In this way, there was a source or there was a media that says a lot of the crores may be what is that? Hidden by most of the countries, are not only for India, all the countries or all the peoples for that. Okay, by most of the peoples for that. That is called as black money. I mean, unaccounted money. Very simple way, it is called as what is it? It's unaccounted money. Black money is funds earned through the black market on which the income and other taxes have not been paid. The unaccounted money that is concerned, that is concealed from the tax administrator is called black money. Right? So the simple meaning is nothing but that is called as unaccounted money. What are the causes for the black money? Due to the reason of black money, what will happen for that? What will happen with the help of the black money? One is a shortage of goods will happen. Isn't it okay? And then license proceeding may be happen for that. Contribution of the industrial sector, smuggling, okay, and then tax structure. See, these are the causes for the black money. That's very well. Again, I will say that shortage of goods will happen, and then license proceeding will be the maybe then the fraudulent manner maybe that. Contribution of the industrial sector also doing for the black money. Smuggling, that's very well. Kadatal, that will happen for that. And then tax structure is also spoiled. I already told you the tax structure may be spoiled. Then the government may not go to get the income for that. Okay, if the government may not go to get the income from the tax revenue, then how the government will go to run efficient and effective manner for that? Next one is tax evasion. If you are escaping to pay the tax to the government of India, that is called as what is a tax evasion. So what will happen there? Tax evasion is the illegal evasion means what is it? Abandon or escape, okay, of taxes by individual as well as corporation and trust. All are cheating. Not only for the individual people, including the in addition to the individual people or in addition to the individual person, and the company is also cheating as well as what is the trust is also cheating for them. I don't say that all the people or all the companies or all the trust, but some of them that I don't know. The tax evasion activities included that. What will happen there? Under reporting income. See, if you are not going to producing the original income or original revenue, how can the government will go to calculate the income of our country? Tell me, it's not possible. Am I right or not? Can you say? If you are not saying the proper accounts, how can the government will calculate the national income of our country for that? That's the first one. Inflating deductions or what is expenses. I already told you inflation. That is a great factor to destroy our economy, right? Inflation and deflation. And third one is hiding money. Now only I told you, if my income may be 10 lakhs, but I show only for 5 lakhs, remaining 5 lakhs was hidden by me, that is called as black money. Isn't it okay? Hiding interest on offshore accounts. That I will not go to, show clear accounts of myself, right? If I may get the income from some bank or if I will go to interest from some other people, but I will not go to produce the accounts to who is the government of anything else or income tax for that is called as. So the tax evasion penalties, what will happen? If you escape or if you abandon or if you do not show the proper tax to the government, what will happen for that? What will be the penalties? That is called as tax evasion penalties. If a person willfully commits the act of tax evasion, he may face lot of the indemnity, that is called as felony charges. Alright? The tax evasion penalties. Tax evasion penalties include imprisonment up to 5 years. That's very well. In the society you are the biggest people, or the richest person, or the famous person. But if you are not going to pay the tax to the government, what will happen? You are arrested by the police. Isn't it okay? Arrested by the police department, then you are sent to the jail also, maybe the 5 years. Then what is the name in the society? How can you maintain your dignity for that? So this is in this way is acceptable for that. So we must pay the tax properly. Isn't it okay? That's the first one. So we must get the at least up to 5 years of imprisonment, right? High amount of what is that fine also. And then the defendant may also be ordered to pay for the cost of prosecution, whatever the expenses for the cases that you must pay for that. And then the tax evasion penalties can be what is that harsh depending on the severity of the crime, depending on the crime. See, some of them may cheated more than crore to crore worth, 50 crore, 100 crore, lakhs together for that. Isn't it okay? So they must pay very heavily for that. And finally, what is that? Taxes and its what is that? Development. Taxes and its development. First one is resource. If you pay the tax for the resource mobilization. Mobilization is nothing but collection of the resources or collection of the facilities. Okay, to in your one country. For example, if all we pay the tax to the properly in our country, automatically our country has grown as a best economically developed country in the world for that. Okay, for that purpose, what we want to do, we must pay the tax to them. Isn't it okay? We must pay the tax properly. So if you pay the tax properly, automatically this heading will be happen for which heading? Resource mobilization will be happen for that. Isn't it okay? So taxation enables the government to mobilize, collect substantial amount of the revenue. Substantial amount of the revenue. The tax revenue is generated by imposing, creating direct taxes as well as what such as personal income tax and corporate tax, as well as what is that indirect taxes such as custom duty and what is that excise duty, etc. That is called as resource mobilization. Actually say reduction inequalities of income. Whenever and wherever the government's foremost duty is to think that they will go to say one sector is more rich, one sector is more poor. What will happen for that? Isn't it okay? Say in a film Shivaji, I think so. You have seen, dear children, you have seen the maybe the comedy or the tragedy. Rajinikanth says that, okay, India is not a poor country. India is not the poor country. Say one set of people is more and more rich for that, but the one set of people is more and more poor for that. So we must, what is it? Bridge the gap. I mean, reduce the gap between the more poor and more rich for that. That is called as reducing inequalities of income for that. Isn't it okay? That's the meaning of second point. So reduction of inequalities of income. Taxation follows the principles of equity, I mean the equality. The direct taxes are progressive in nature, that's very well. Also certain indirect taxes such as taxes on luxury goods is also the progressive in nature. Third one is social welfare, that's very well. The heading is, the meaning is the social society. Welfare, what is that? The government must provide the better facilities or the better amenities to the people for that. Then how it is possible? If we pay the tax properly, then only it is possible to provide that access to the what is that alcoholic products. Okay, then only they get the money. With that money must be spent in the what is the welfare of the people, right? And then foreign exchange, anniya chalavani. In Tamil it is called as what is that? Anniya chalavani. So that is a very very major source of the what is that our country also. So the taxation encourage the exports as well as the what is that restrict the imports. That's the main point for that. Because in the economy, just very well, unfavorable balance of trade, balanced trade. Isn't it okay? Whenever a country is in the position of export is greater than import, then that is called as developed economy, right? But the same country the import is more than export. What will happen for that? They are depending other country a lot of the products for that. Isn't it okay? So how it is possible? So that situation must be reduced. If that situation must be reduced, means what we want to do? We will try to export more amount of the goods from this our country to another country. Then only just we can get the what is it? Foreign exchange, right? That is the meaning of which one? Foreign exchange. And next one is regional development. Taxation plays an important role in the regional development. See, the tax incentives such as the tax holidays for the what is it? Setting up of industries in the backward regions, which includes business firms to set up the industries in such regions further. Actually, we can't say that in geography just you are studied further, all the resources may not be available in all the states equally. Right? In North India, some resources may be there, mineral resources are there. South India, some resources may be available for that. Isn't it okay? The same thing, what is that? The same resource may be, in the North India, there was a lot of the hills and mountains like Himalayas is there. But the South India, maybe the oceans are there. So the resources may not be shared equally. Then how can the states share the resources equally? That is called as regional development. Isn't it okay? So we must develop all the states inside the country, develop equally. Then only the country will improve or develop further. If you spend more concentration or if you spend more income to only for the one state, how it is possible to develop the other states for that? Okay, so we must first we must share the resources equally to all the states for that. Then only that all the states can be increased further. Isn't it okay? The last one is control the inflation. Control the inflation, I already told you. Inflation is the thing, but the value of the money has to be raised a little bit, right? Inflation as well as deflation. There are two factors available in the economics concept for that. I already told you in the first lesson. Just you have studied more about the inflation. See, for simple example, I am saying for that today you bought what is that? Maybe a onion, right? Kilo only 40 rupees for that. Tomorrow you will go to buy for the same onion 1 kilo, that may be more than 150 rupees, 250 rupees. What will happen? That is called as inflation. Okay students, and finally the differences between tax and payment. See, tax is different, payment is different. Okay, tax means that is a compulsory payment, right? Tax is what is that? Compulsory payment to the government. Compulsory payment to the government without getting any direct benefits. Sir, I am going to pay the tax to the government of India, income tax properly and regularly. What is the subsidy or what is the benefits for that? No benefits actually. Already just you are in the benefit. Already you are utilizing the benefits of our country. Isn't it? You are using the natural resources, you are using the mineral resources for that. You are using the regional transport, national transport, or maybe the railways or roadways, healthcare benefits, healthcare facilities, hydro power projects for that. Okay, how it was possible, how it was constructed for that. What is a necessity, right? Because of if you are paying the money, the tax properly to the government, then only the government will go to construct these facilities to you. Isn't it okay? So it is a compulsory payment. You should not expect anything from what is the government for that. Okay, and the fees is the payment for getting any service. Fees is compulsory payment. Isn't it okay? Sir, I am using current. You must pay the AB bill, right? I am using the water from the government supply. Yeah, you must pay the water fees also. Isn't it okay? Okay, that is very important. That is the, so it is called as compulsory payment. So tax is what is a compulsory payment, and it is for the voluntary payment. Okay, it is compulsory and it is voluntary. So that is example is income tax, right? And maybe the gift boxes, wealth tax, value added tax, மதிப்பு கூட்டு வரி, that is called as VAT. And then for here that is stamp fees. If you are willing, all right? If you are liking, if you like or if you are willing, then you bought the property, then you must pay the stamp duty for that, right? So it is called as voluntary. It's not compulsory. No one should say you go and buy the apartment or you go and construct you won't buy the land for that. Anybody is forcing you? No. Isn't it okay? But because of your willing, because of your idea, just you bought the what is that land or the apartment or something for that. So you must pay what is it? Stamp duty. Isn't it okay? And then driving license fees. That's a very simple example to understand about what is that fees. Driving license fees. Isn't it okay? Without getting the license, you can't go to drive even the 2-wheeler or 3-wheeler or the 4-wheeler. Am I right or not? So you must pay the fees for that. And finally, government registration fees. Wherever we are going to apply for the government services, maybe the exams, the government services, we must pay the fees for that, right? That is called as voluntary payment. So these are the differences between what is that? Tax and payment. Okay.